Chapter 24 of Pee Wee Harris in Luck. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by John Brandon. Pee Wee Harris in Luck by Percy Keese Fitzhugh. Chapter 24. Sidetracked. Out of the window of the locomotive projected the head of the substitute engineer. There was the frown of concentration on his countenance. His eyes were half closed in a studious but vain effort to penetrate the solid whiteness. He could not even see the smokestack. He craned his neck and kept his hand on the throttle. Just ahead of the locomotive traveled a small, elusive area of illuminated mist. This was the best that the primitive old headlight could do. Suddenly, within that small moving area, like printing on the weakly brightened circle of a toy magic lantern, appeared the end of a word, and the whole of another word. The first part of the first word was evidently outside the little area of dusky light. The printing within the compass of brightness read, Dale Manor. The letters G-O-O-D preceding the Dale, and the word farm following the word manor were not visible to the mortal eye. Nothing was visible to mortal eye but a dim, unsubstantial mass, and those hovering, dusky, uncertain words, Dale Manor. But they were enough. The beginning and the end, nestling coyly in the fog, were not necessary to inform the substitute engineer that Snailsdale Manor was proclaiming itself. It was at that moment that the throttle was pulled with desperate suddenness, and Mr. Pilar Coyne went reeling into the arms of Klamordinovich Voceferinsky, just as he was reaching for his little black coffin. And it was in that same moment that Hink, the conductor, sprang out of his slumber and yawned sleepily. Snailsdale Manor! All out for Snailsdale Manor! And there you are. Out of the train strode A. Pilar Coyne, carrying 2 suitcases. He was followed by C. Voceferinsky, who was followed by Mrs. Gamer, who was followed by her adventurous daughter, Pocahontas Gamer. Behind these, striding with arrow-like military carriage, followed Chester, alias Chesty Marshall, and ambling leisurely behind him, as if they really did not care where they were going, or whether they got out or not, came the 2 perfectly lovely fellows of High Dome University, with whom it is the author's pleasure to make you acquainted, Fuller Bulson and Razor Racket. Their manner suggested a willingness to follow, whether it be to the wilds of Africa or the North Pole, a kind of whimsical half-interest in anything which might involve piquant adventures. "I have a hunch that things are not what they seem," said Razor Racket. "I heard there was a house here. The plot grows thicker." "Silence," said Fuller Bulson. "'Tis the fog that is thick, also, methinks, thine own head. Have you got the fishing tackle?" "This is a different manner of Snailsdale Manor than I expected," said Razor. "I see no church. This is not my beloved Snailsdale. 'Tis a plot." "All the better," said Fuller Bulson. "Dis is not so much village," said Voceferinsky. "Right the first time, Trotsky," said Fuller. "Feel around, and you'll find it. It's just mislaid." "Are you sure you're not leading us astray, Cap?" Razor asked of A. Pilar Coyne, who had just stepped out into the mud. "I will not turn back," thundered A. Pilar Coyne. "I presume this is Snailsdale Manor. But in any case, I will not turn back. If anybody can show me a house with a roof on it and something to eat inside it, I will thank him. I've had enough of this. Where is the bus that was supposed to be here?" "Look under the train," said Chesty Marshall. "It is not there," said Fuller Bulson. "Then we'll walk," said A. Pilar Coyne. "We're with you," said Razor Racket. By that time our suffering victims were assembled in a little group in the mud. The train was rumbling slowly away. Hink the conductor was continuing the dream that was appearing serially in his mind, punctuated by the stations. "I understood that a bus from the Snailsdale house would be here," said A. Piler Coyne. "Misfortune seemed to pile on us," said Mrs. Gamer, almost at the point of despair. "We can never walk through this mud, and besides we don't know where to walk." "All the better," said Fuller Bolson. "We can't go wrong if we don't care where we go. My mother taught me that." "I wish my mother had," said Pocahontas. "Mistakes are only in the imagination," said Razor. "There is really no such thing as a mistake. It's a mistake to suppose that there is." "Right you are, Ray," said his friend. "The trouble with most people is they're always wanting to go to some particular place. And see the trouble they get in. One place is as good as another, if not better." "Dis is what you call noblesse," said Vociferinsky. "Better still," said Fuller. "If anybody can show me a house with a roof on it and something to eat inside it," said A. Piler Coyne in a grim tone of wrath and despair. He never finished uttering this altogether liberal offer to the world, for out of the depths of the fog arose a voice like a siren, calling out of the tempestuous ocean. "I know a house with a roof on it, and it's got lots of food inside of it, and you can have a dipper of milk whenever you want it, and they're going to kill a pig next week, and they always have ice cream on Sundays, because I turn the freezer, and they always have 2 helpings of dessert." "Hark!" said Fuller Bolson. "Methinks I hear you calling me." "It's a wagon," said Miss Pocahontas Gamer. "Look." "It's got a roof, because I can prove it. Because here's a shingle." "And we'll take you right there," thundered the voice. "This isn't Snailsdale Manor. It isn't any station at all. But anyway, this wagon goes to Goodale Manor Farm. And it's a kind of a station and a bus, all kind of rolled into one. And maybe even a station that isn't a station is better than one that is. All aboard for Goodale Manor Farm. You get fresh eggs and milk and 2 desserts and a roof, too. All aboard for Goodale Manor Farm." End of chapter 24. Recording by John Brandon.